Welcome back to coverage of the 2025 Syracuse Open, sponsored by the Pies Guys. We've got round 2 MPO coverage from Clay East in Liverpool, New York. I'm Stephen Bailey, the tournament director, joined again by Luke Sackman.
Thanks, Stephen. Looking forward to some woods golf after our more open park-style round 1 on the west side of Clay Park.
If you haven't checked it out yet, be sure to go watch round 1. Nathan Queen laying down a very hot first round, but there's a lot of great players behind him. As you see here, Andrew Miranda, Braeden Sides, and Zach Sisson all at 12 down, and there's a number of players at 11 down in this 3-round tournament.
Zach Sisson, I believe, the highest rated player in New York, coming in at a 10-13, I believe.
And he made the lead card for round 2 last year on Clay East. If you like lefty forehands, you're going to see some absolute rockets from him.
And starting off here on hole 1, about 350 feet, just a straight tunnel shot, lefty or righty. You're just looking at throwing something low, a little bit higher than Nathan's doing here, but a low punching drive, get down to this basket. Again, it's a hallway, so you don't really want to kick left or right.
And Andrew leaving this drive a little bit right. And you can have some tricky lines from over there.
I know for us local players, a 4 is a common number on this hole, especially it being the first hole of the day.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of players, not at the highest level, but play this hole for par, just to try and avoid that.
And there's that lefty forehand from Zach. Such a smooth, powerful throw. He's a tall kid, a lot of power, and a really solid golfer.
Yeah, really compact movement. He generates a ton of power. And as you can see, Andrew having to kind of finagle his way in there. That's a pretty good shot from there.
That's a great shot, the way he was straddling that sawed-off tree log there.
Yep, if you've been over there, you know that's not a comfortable stance at all.
Nathan cleaning up his low drive, putting his approach just under the basket. And, Andrew maybe feeling a little bit of nervousness after that drive and that approach. Also leaking his putt a little bit left. He'll be taking an unfortunate bogey here on hole 1.
Yeah, just not quite committed there. Great 2 from Braeden. He pretty much laced his drive and cashed in the 25-footer.
And a great 2 from Zach as well.
Yeah, definitely a great way to start your round.
And cleaning up the bogey here for Andrew, and the easy par for Nathan.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Definitely one of the tougher holes out here. Moving on to hole 2, a little bit more of a scoreable par 3. That tree that we just flew past in the middle of the fairway is now gone, leaving a pretty pure righty backhand turnover, or a lefty hyzer, forehand hyzer. We're seeing here from Braeden. Looks a little straight, though.
Pushing the backside of that fairway. But he's going to have a look from over there. He's just short of pin high. This hole can kind of play tricks with you with your eyes. Shots that look like they're long actually end up working out just fine. And Zach, the lefty, throwing a forehand, cooking it over a little early, and you see him cut rolling there back to the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, I'm sure he's executed that shot, and I would love to see him do it with probably the height you need on it.
Yeah, the more traditional backhand lefty shot from Nathan, putting it just under the basket there.
Yeah, getting right back on track after birdieing 13 holes in the first round. Nathan will have his first of the second round there.
And that's a beautiful forehand there from Andrew. Also pushing a little bit deep. He's got some sneaky power. He seemed to have just smoothed that one over, and it caught the back edge of the fairway.
Yeah, he's definitely a bomber as well. And this is what Braeden is looking at. Just a little punch-out roller.
And unfortunately, he pushed too far into the bushes on the left side of the basket there.
And you can see Andrew stayed on the front side of him, but definitely impeded. But he jams it.
Leaves that one a little bit left, just like his putt on hole 1, but the left corner pocket catches his time, and he caught something on his hand there.
He did. Hopefully, he got a thorn right in his finger.
Hopefully that doesn't affect him the rest of the round.
Yeah, he'll take a few minutes. You can see him showing Braeden. It'll take a few minutes on the next tee. He was able to get it out.
Oof.
As someone who did quite a bit of coursework, I can tell you, there's a lot of thorns out there.
Yeah, unlike the west side of Clay Park, this east side is pretty heavily wooded, and there's plenty of thorns, plenty of foliage to navigate through.
Yeah, the rough is rough, but the fairways are certainly fair.
Here we are on hole 3. Your first musket of the round, 256 feet. For the righties, it's just a backhand hyzer on the right side of that skinny tree. We see Nathan taking the lefty turnover line, hitting it pretty clean, coming up just a bit short on the right side of the basket.
Yeah, definitely can end up in some tough places if you don't hit this gap, but for a righty, you really have no excuse not to.
And Braeden showing you exactly what to do on this hole. Just a one-angle hyzer with a putter, putting it just past the basket.
And this has to be absolute wheelhouse for Zach.
Catching some unfortunate action off the ground, kind of checks up and doesn't give him a skip, but he's going to have maybe a 20-foot look at a birdie there.
And Andrew ripping out the thorn and parking his drive.
And a nice just outside circle 1 putt there for Nathan, the little stepper.
Looks familiar.
Yep. He's made a living off that.
And you can see how. And yeah, here's where Zach ended up. Very nice. Andrew also within 15 feet or so.
Nice tap-in birdie for Andrew. Glad to see that the thorn that he pulled out of his hand on the last hole isn't affecting him.
Yeah, I followed the card for a decent amount and might have affected him a little bit, but good to see him in high spirits.
This coverage is brought to you by the Pies Guys, title sponsor of the Syracuse Open for its first 4 years. Reese and the Pies Guys team have been integral to the growth of the event since day one, providing lunch for all players and contributing to one of the largest pro purses in the Northeast. Stop in and chow down on their selection of brick oven pizza, fish fry, subs, and more. Or carry out your next meal. With 5 locations in central New York, including 4 in Syracuse, you're never far from a hot slice.
Moving on to hole 4 after our first star frame of the round. 305 feet, par 3. You want something that pushes straight and then goes left, ideally with a little bit of height, but if you got enough speed on a righty backhand or a Zach Sisson lefty forehand, you can get a nice skip as well. Nathan getting the height right there, just tickles a branch, and he'll be about 20 feet short.
I love watching these backhand turnover lines from Nathan. We'll see quite a few of them in this round.
Yeah, the wrist control he has with that shot, kind of opening up late, is so cool.
A little early here from Andrew. You can see he didn't really follow through on that drive, but in an okay spot to pitch up and down for an easy par.
Yeah, we got a tree right in the middle of the gap. You can play this hyzer around, or you can kind of try and play a slight flex left of it. A little less common of a choice, but definitely a decision you need to make off the tee.
And Braeden working his way up the hill on that shot there on the right side of the gap. And Zach with just, for him, an easy forehand. Looked like something slow there.
Yeah, I think the same disc he threw on 3. Man,
oh!
What a bid from Andrew.
I said easy 3, and he almost made it into a 2.
He's got tons of power on his putt. And Nathan showing the foil there with his pitch putt and puts another one home.
Yeah, the camera doesn't quite show how inclined this hill is, he was probably a good 5 feet below the basket.
Yeah. Going from the chain stars to the mocks, that pitch putt will do him a lot of good out here. Just a textbook birdie from Braeden there. You can't really play the hole much better than that.
Andrew asking himself how he lost a stroke to everyone on this hole. Not the easiest hole for us locals.
Not at all.
Moving on to hole number 5. The drone missed the aggressive line there on the right, went through the more approachable layup to get your 3 line. You're going to be seeing some righty hyzers and some backhand lefty hyzers. Nathan going for the aggressive line, paying for it, kicking right, but not too far right.
You'll definitely see a lot of short par 4s out here, but certainly shots where if you miss your intended line, you could end up in a tough spot.
Braeden just missing that scraggly tree there in the middle of your main gap.
Zach booming a lefty forehand. That is pretty far left.
Going on a safari is Zach. There's a walking path that looked like he flew clear over.
He did. He will have a backdoor look, maybe from about 150 feet away.
And a nice drive here from Andrew. Just an easy forehand hyzer to get halfway up the fairway, just over this hill, and he'll have an easy up and down. Give himself a chance at a 3. Nathan having himself a tough time on that right side of the fairway.
And Braeden, just a bit of an unforced error there. You can kind of see that right fairway he was going for is probably the primary of the 2 fairways. There's another one off to the left. But, yeah, just inside on that.
Yeah, it looked like he was caught right in the middle. He could have went either way and maybe didn't quite commit to that right side. But cleaning it up here, catching a tree late, putting him right by the basket. He'll have a putt for saving his par. And Andrew going for this kind of a step putt approach from his drive and not quite committing on it.
Yeah, here's that backdoor shot from Zach.
Oh, he got way down there.
Yeah, he did.
Long approach here from Andrew. Coming up just short. That might have hit the basket.
And Braeden covers up his mistake to save par there.
That's a good long par save. I thought he was a lot closer off of his second approach there, but I'm sure he's happy to be escaping with a par after the mistake in the middle.
I think Nathan probably feels the same way, and maybe Andrew too a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure Nathan doesn't feel good about the par there, but after his drive, he's happy that it's not worse.
Yeah, for sure. And as you said, you have those aggressive lines, and you do have some safer ones here, so it doesn't feel great to take a 4 on a 435-foot par 4 with this field. Moving on to hole 6, 482-foot par 4, but I would say substantially harder than hole 5. You're going to see a tunnel off the tee, and you can either kind of try and push straight on this left side, or maybe bail out to the right and set up a more open second shot. Zach's drive just low. He's going to be on the left side, and that is generally a tough spot to work from, I would imagine, especially for a lefty.
Yeah, this hole used to play as a par 3 with the basket to the right of the cameraman there, and it was a tough 3. I really like the change that we made to this hole a few years ago, pushing it down left, making it into a par 4.
You got some OB long, which is certainly not in play off the tee.
A little bit left there for Braeden. He ought to be able to have a scramble to maybe get a 3. And Andrew a little bit early on that forehand. Not quite sure where he's kicking to. Maybe back to the other fairway on 5.
He actually got a pretty good kick. It went really far forward for kind of how he threw it. So he'll be on the right edge, maybe 200 feet out.
And Nathan getting hung up there at the top of the hill right before it goes back down to the basket.
Yeah, pretty common collection point. And you can see Braeden. Yeah, this left side is tough. Going for the anti-forehand just catches that skinny tree.
And there's no shortage of trees on this course, and you can get used to whacking into them.
Yep.
As Zach hits the same exact tree that Braeden did, rolls to a similar spot. I'll be careful on this approach not to go long, catches some trees. There is OB behind the basket. There's a creek that runs through a number of the holes here.
And Nathan taking care of business. And a little anti-step putt from Zach.
Yeah, nice safe approach. That's going to come in soft on the ground and you won't get too much action. And cleaning up a par here for Braeden. Andrew lining up his birdie putt.
Trying to take advantage of that kick he had off of the tee. And he does. Right on the stripe.
And grabbing a stroke on the rest of the card.
It's definitely the name of the game on East. When you get a break, you got to take advantage of it. Because you can be just a few inches off and end up punished.
It's not a question of, are you going to kick off a tree? It's where are you going to land.
This coverage is brought to you by Myers Creek Brewing Company, a major sponsor of the Syracuse Open and steadfast supporter of the local disc golf community. Featuring 2 central New York locations, Myers Creek has been voted the best brewery in Advanced Media's 2023 Reader's Choice Awards. Come out to the Farm Brewery in Cazenovia, which includes a 9-hole disc golf course and hosts a Thursday night putt club each winter. Or stop in at the Inner Harbor Tap Room and grab yourself a pint of Bangin' Chains Session IPA. Myers Creek, proudly brewing what's next for craft beer in the heart of New York State.
And here we have hole number 7. The shortest hole that will be played on the entire weekend at only 150 feet. You can jump putt off the tee, as we see Andrew try here. Not committing to hitting that gap. I'd like to see just a standstill backhand, I think, is a more appropriate play. I think the jump putt is asking for a little bit too much power.
It's a Gannon Bear level jump putt.
Didn't want it.
That was close to going in.
There's a leaning tree right off the tee box here, and I've tried the jump putt myself, and I've hit it plenty of times. But nice shot here from Nathan, just sliding it up past the basket.
I think we got a berg here from Braeden, and this is a pretty bergy shot. Just a little right of the chains.
That'd be more standard backhand hyzer, 150 feet.
Oh!
Oh!
God.
2 jump putts.
That looked even better on film than it did in person. But Andrew taking it in stride.
Not quite sure what made that spit out. Maybe caught a ring, but
Just kind of returned to sender, it seemed like. Yeah. I mean, that was probably close to 100 feet, and hard to really critique a putt like that. Just unlucky.
as the rest of our cards going to be tapping in their birdies as they should. I'd be surprised if this wasn't the easiest hole on the course.
Yeah, gotta be. We are moving on to hole 8, 360-foot par 3, slightly uphill, maybe a little bit more than the camera kind of does justice. But, you know, if you got 400 feet of power, you'd like to give yourself a look here. And Zach certainly does. Little inside, though.
Yeah, I believe last year on coverage he went long on the basket with that power forehand of his. So.
That's right. He was in the rough long. Yep.
Nathan looks like he's just throwing a slow disc, maybe a putter up to midway up the fairway. Not biting off more than he can chew.
That'll still be long circle 2 look.
A little high out of Braeden's hand and a little bit right as well. He's going to be well short of the basket.
And Andrew with the inside release.
Hole 8 showing its teeth. And it's a pretty tough drive to hit. You gotta throw a really low ceiling fairway type of approach.
Yeah, definitely a demanding shot. I think we can say no one really executed what they were trying to do, except for maybe Nathan here.
Some nice scrambles that we're seeing from the card, though.
Yep, absolutely. That forehand from a knee on the left side is pretty common.
And a nice birdie there for Nathan. I'm sure he wasn't planning on getting that one off the tee, but taking advantage.
Yeah, the putter is on, and round 1 at Clay West was the same day in the morning. So after about an hour and a half, maybe hour and a half lunch, these guys back on the course, and it does not seem like Nathan has missed a beat on the green. Nice putt there from Zach. And Andrew is going to clean up here as well. Just a little short.
Yeah, just not quite committed on the putting green so far this front 9 of round 2 for Andrew.
It's always tough to see a spit out, especially maybe on baskets that don't handle really fast putts. And he's quite a powerful putter, so going to need to get that dialed in here, moving toward the back 9.
And rounding out the front 9 here on Clay East is hole number 9. 166-foot shot. It's going to be a shot down this left side tunnel with a sloping green behind. Nathan making that gap look real wide. It's about maybe a 5-foot gap to hit.
That's a little inside there. Yeah.
Zach opting for that forehand again on what should just be a pretty straightforward backhand. Hyzer for the lefty, but he's real comfortable with that forehand.
Yeah. And Andrew just a little bit left.
Yep, just caught a little too much Anheuser angle out of his hand and caught one of the late trees left. And giving a bit of a soft bid. Green does slope down past the basket. You can catch some rolls, and there are some more guardian trees behind. So you don't want to be too aggressive.
Similar deal for Zach. There's a nice looking putt from Andrew, committed. Still certainly would like to get the 2 on this one. 7 and 9, a couple really short par 3s. Plenty of scoring opportunities on the back, but these are a couple of must-gets.
And another birdie for Nathan, putting him at 19 under after this front 9.
It's 19 under through 27 holes. And Braeden and Zach just a couple behind. Andrew falling off pace a little bit, but still have half the tournament left. There's no doubt about it, you're going to need to keep scoring if you want to stay near the top of this tournament.
Taking a look at some of our other competitors, Jerry Menzie having a nice second round thus far, matching Nathan's -6. Just 2 off the lead himself.
So yeah, we are going to head into the back 9 on Clay East. Like I said, be sure to check out round 1 coverage if you haven't. And stick around for round 3 at Van Buren tomorrow, as well as the FPO final round coverage featuring on Scoggins.